Hey, guess who's back with another video? That's right, me. And you're probably wondering, what did I review this time? What did I watch this time? Did I get something from Video Exclusive? No, instead I actually went to the library. Used Cars. 1980, from the director Forrest Gump, What Lies Beneath, and Castaway. Starring Kurt Russell, Garrett Graham, and of course Jack Warden. Is brilliant in a double role as two feuding brothers, Luke and Ray L. Fuchs, Fuchs, and no, it is not spelled like the swear word, said like the swear word, who own competing car lots and are trying to drive each other out of business. Rudy Russo, Kurt Russell, is Luke's a salesman, a charming and conniving cheat and liar who is merely in training for his true ambition: politics. In one of Rudy's most outlandish advertising plays, he hires a model, Penthouse Pet of the Year Shell Rickson, to strip on television. They all wind up in a crazy automobile stampede involving 200 vintage cars and a high-speed case that becomes a free-for-all demolition derby. Oh boy, this movie was something else, I'll tell you that much. Oh, how to describe it? It's Steven Spielberg, and it was directed or had to do with the production of the war spoof 1941, and said, hey, if we ever get the chance, let's do one about a car salesman in the Las Vegas area or in Southwest Nevada, what have you. That's fine. It was. Oh boy, I was highly pressed. I was very highly convinced by this guy right here, Jack Warden, who played in some 1978 movie Heaven or something like that. He's just a conniving, evil scumbag. You could tell he chewing the scenery of just being a cigar chomping, just incessant, lovable, detestable person. You just want to see get his comeuppance, and he will stop at nothing in order to acquire his deceased brother's lot, and he will go to any lengths, even going so far as to having someone to manipulate footage of the daughter who inherited the lot, saying I have a mile of cars, which could be false advertising. And this guy is just evil. But let's also not forget Kurt Russell. Man, oh man, he plays a good-natured but still a slimeball. Again, this is making fun of the car dealership industry, excuse me, and how they would reverse miles. They would reverse miles on the odometer, on the how many miles you had 32,000. They would reverse it to 28,000 even, and use tactics to try and get someone to purchase a lemon, and eventually that got the Consumer Protection Agency and the Better Business Bureau, I think, reduced a lot of that crud. So it's an interesting look to see some of the underhanded tactics that they would use. For crying out loud, the introduction itself features Kurt Russell's character working underneath in order to get the miles down to on the odometer down to what was it, 33,000 to 31,000, just in an attempt to get more. But he also wants to get involved in politics to get the heck out of what's going on there. There are some funny moments, in the beginning. He uses a fishing line with $10. Person instantly hauls a fishing line across the road. Guy knows it's $10, and he gets convinced to come over and buy a vehicle. There's also a dog that's apparently very smart enough, named Toby, who is smart enough to fetch a screwdriver, even though he gets a flathead instead of a Phillips. That was kind of funny. Who's also shrewd in helping make sales. Another funny moment as Rudy is trying to sell some cars. Dog goes under, literally pretends to play dead, as it, as Rudy places a rock underneath one of the wheels, so that way it goes over, pretends that the dog is dead. That's what you call a bastard, but a lovable, but in a way a very smart bastard, if you will. That's if you're gonna be just a sleazeball, at least just be authentic about it. They also hijack twice a football game where they feature where it just goes awry with language. A model who becomes topless because one of the characters does not believes that red cars bring bad luck for whatever reason. I don't know. It's probably just you can't make this stuff up. They eventually go to an Jimmy Carter was making a speech in 1979. They managed to successfully infiltrate it via communication satellite, and feature what could only be described as an over-the-top caricature, a Western, 1970s Western for a car commercial of eliminating low prices. Funny as frick how they did that and ruined the reputation of Roy for a little bit until he gets back. They just keep on upping one another, and it's some good stuff. I'll tell you that much. There's also it's either Hail to the Chief or Stars and Stripes Set Forever that play, sometimes used ironically or sarcastically, given all the scuzzball activity that's going on. I thought that was a nice touch just to emphasize, just like, again, just how far some of these people will go just to top one another. It's kind of like, I guess if I had to make a comparison, in the novel Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, how it was like Cadbury and the other chocolate company would send spies in the company or into each other's company or pretend to be customers and figure out what's going on, like that, which wasn't really seen in the 74 whatever in the first Charlie and Chocolate Factory. Anyway, getting off topic. It's 112 minutes. I felt like that it took a little bit to get going. And again, this is Robert Zemeckis who directed it. And I'm like, honestly, it's a nice consistent flow throughout the movie, because it leads to a truly epic conclusion where 250 cars are brought on a dealership to help negate the false advertising of having enough cars that are a mile long. And it is just one of the most amazing, funny, just it's darkly funny, but it's still a darn good movie. And it's just like the climax. It's just they somehow managed to just get 250 cars onto this parking lot by having a whole bunch of drivers and ed students. That was clever. I'll have to give them that. And apparently they got the license that day. Let's just say that. I guess another funny part would be it's like, hey, you have to prove that Luke Fuchs is still alive. So they managed to retrieve him out of where he was buried in a pit or whatever. And then he comes in supposedly driving erratic because the car got souped up, soaked in gasoline, goes into like a not a power plant, but like power generator, and just explodes. So technically they got their butts covered. It's like, it's what they do. It's both shrewd, slimeballish, and hilarious. Some people may not like it because I'll admit I didn't exactly get bored, but I did check my watch a couple of times. 40 minutes in, it got a little, yeah. So, yeah. If I had to give used cars a rating, given that it's, I would say, there were some parts, like the politics part is okay. It felt kind of fluff, I guess. And I guess politics and used car salesmen go hand in hand. There's also part of like a freeway coming in. The freeway part just felt last second and just out of nowhere. The romance was fine. I'd give I would give it, let's say, either a 7 or an 8. 7.5. Why not? So yeah, if you want a different movie, if you want like a darkly funny movie that has to do with cars, a great climax, dark humor, sleazeballs, I recommend you watched Used Cars.